Well, hello, folks, and welcome to part 2 here at the Gilmore Car Museum. Take a look at the 1910 Franklin Touring. Pass through this building and through some of the others. We're going to go see the big Gnome-mobile, the Gnome-mobile. Just a second. These are all Franklins, all from the 1930s. The whole Franklin collection. Beautiful, right? $3,000 in 1928. Again, look at the wooden spokes on the wheels. That's this whole room is a one big Franklin collection. Very cool. Here's some of the bones of this one. Again, you can see the spokes drivetrain. All the old Franklins. What do we have up in here? Be right back. Well, this is a model year 2526 Lincoln chassis. Shows the manufacturing plant, Detroit. Here's the Lincoln chassis. Look at the Delco ignition system, the patents on it. There's your block serial number right there. There's your accelerator and brake pedals and everything. Shift. Very cool. Hey, now we're going to go into a dealership, it looks like. Nope, just another part of the museum. I haven't been in here before. 1990 town car. Wow. And it just goes on and on. Aviator concept. A lot of Lincolns in here. 22. Here's a beauty. $5,800 in 22. These were not cheap. These were not cheap. 1930 Lincoln. $5,600 out the door, right? You're getting a 48. Factory price $4,700. That one came down a little bit. There's a Lincoln Zephyr. $1,320 in 1936. Get a hood ornament there. Look at the hand grip bars made of chrome across the top of the front seats. No seat belts, of course. Couple of rag tops back here. The Lincoln Continental Experience. I've ridden in a Lincoln Continental or two. They're a big boat. They take up the 78s and so forth. Maybe they might have one in here. They take up the whole lane. My father used to have a 78, 77, 78 Mark V. Yep. I think his was, I think it was a Bill Blass edition or something. I can't remember. And I drove it a couple of times. You see, it's a large car as well. His was kind of silver and blue and chrome. But yeah, it has the Opry window and so forth. 54 Lincoln Capri. Now, my father was driving Cadillacs back this time in the 70s. He didn't switch over to Lincolns until Mr. Gilmore himself had left the business. My dad liked to deal with him personally on those Cadillacs. And after that, he went to he switched to Continentals. Here's an old Continental. Here's another 79. Like my mom's, hers was dark blue. Hers was a Cartier edition. Had a little gold Cartier right back here in the Opry window, it said. And that's what my mom drove until she stopped driving, 78, 79, until in probably right around 2010 or 2011. Yep, I have a picture of my mom driving that car. And I've driven this too. I've driven this car, the same model, same size and everything. I had 4 people in the back seat and my dad in the front with me. And yeah, it takes up the lane and it handles real nice. You're going 75, close to 80 miles an hour, and you don't really know it. Has the air ride and stabilizers and everything. Yep, they're a good old car, big old boat. What do they weigh? Let's see, almost 5,000 pounds. Factory price was almost $14,000. A lot of money back then. But she paid it once and drove it for 20 years, so I guess that's $1,000 a year. A couple other Continental limos right there. Mark III. Looks like something that McGarrett would drive in Hawaii 5.0, but I think he had Imperials. And they also used to burn out and squeal tires on dirt with that. Old McGarrett, yeah. There we go, 64 Lincoln suicide doors on this one. Had a teacher and coach in high school that drove one of these. Never rode in it. And there's your suicide doors right there. They called them that because in an accident, these back doors would fly open and you'd come flying out. You didn't want to accidentally open the door on the fly. The air would peel it back, and a lot of other things would happen. So, yeah, they did away with them. Right back. Okay, we're going to go over into another building right now. Maybe check out some caddies. See, out here in the Commons, they have more barns for us to go through. An old gas station that they have set up like back in the day. And other things to look at yet. Over here is the Cadillac dealership. We'll see if they're open. We'll go and take a look. And you can sit here next to Honest Abe. Very cool. Be right back. Of course, what a more appropriate place to sit. Abraham Lincoln, and outside. Wonderful Lincoln dealership. See right here, 1917. Cornerstone was laid. This is the Lincoln Motor Car Heritage Museum, dedicated in memory of I.A. Cappy and Adeline Capizzi, 2014. Very cool. Over here is Ford service. Cadillac right here. Let's go take a look. And again, as we walk along here, we have the Lincoln dealership we're just in. Down here is the Franklin Motors. We were through there on the inside. This is the entrance to the dealership on the outside. 1902 to 1934. Over here we have Ford. Let's go in and take a look. Outside the Ford dealership here, they have some Gulf gas pumps from back in the day. These are the visible pumps, the gravity pumps, and the free air. Pretty cool. Let's go inside. Okay, you just walked into the showroom. We're greeted by a 30 Ford Model A. And look at the cool little wintertime cocoon that they have around. the rumble seat. Ford Model A Coupe, Victoria, $590, brand new. 29 Model A Town Car. Boy, that's a sharp vehicle. Look at that. Man, price was unknown. We're going to go back in here a second and have a little look around. For those of you that like pressed pennies, I have that here too. Get some old postcards. There's a bust of Henry Ford. Production workers, 1928. The debut of their 28 Ford Model A. There she is. Yep. Road Club memorabilia, automotive clubs, all from back in the day. You can bet your Route 66 is going to be in here. Betcha. Again, they're always taking excellent care. Everything here. Some aircraft. And look at this one. It's a cutaway American Sweetheart. They took the body and cut it all away. Wrought iron roadster. This hasn't been cut away. It's been made out of wrought iron. 1930. Isn't that something? Huh. Here's an old refrigerator. Those were on the way out. There weren't many of those left when I came to being here. I don't know anybody that had those style anymore. But the ones that were replaced, this one right here, that's what we had. So I just missed these. Just missed those. But we still got milk in glass bottles though. And that still had about a decade or so left. And then that was over. All the awards from the car companies and car clubs and so forth. Here's a telephone truck. Come down and run your new telephone lines. Step ladder. Should say Bell on there. Yep, the Bell system. New England Bell this one came from. Some wire over here on the other side. Let's see what kind of commo wire they were running up there. Oh man, that's a improved D8A, right? That's newer cable. Well, I'm not here to to nitpick. Handpack. That too. Look at, here's the Ugra horns. Look at all the different ones. Different years. Pretty cool. They're displayed right up there. What's this, a paddy wagon? This is a paddy wagon. Don't know. Here's a church pew. Yeah. CO, I can't step up into there without a stool on the fly back. My ankles be shackled. And right there they are. Yeah, he is shackled. Yeah, no belly chains. He wasn't a violent offender. Yeah. Someday I'll tell you about ankle shackles and belly chains. Something that you've ever experienced, like combat. You'll never forget it. It'll wake you up in the middle of the night. It sure enough do. Look at there. Hey CO, you serve everything in here in 10 cups? School district, school bus. A tow truck, check this out. 1930 AA service car wrecker. Look at the wrecker. How do you like that? These look like things you'd find on the back of a hearse. This isn't though. Made in the USA, 3-ton. And the lights that used to hang outside of the dealership, the original ones. Here's a little Smith Model A air compressor kit. Wow. 31 Ford Patty. $1,400. Well, I bet you they got their money's worth out of that one. '28 Ford AA fire truck. Very, very cool. Very cool. Little farm wagon here. The old pickup truck of the old day. Service area. Oh, here's where you paid. It's your parts department. There's a magneto. Look at the rest of these, the old typewriter back here. It's a Smith Brothers, number 8. Again, all the parts. Look at the spark plugs. And if you want a clock, there's your options. Genuine Ford parts. Now, hey, I have one of these in my collection. See that right there? That's uranium glass. A couple others right here. This one right here is Vaseline glass. There's 2 different styles. They both glow in the dark. They both have uranium in them. These are for the corners of a hearse. They hold a little water and little flower buds. There were sets of 6 of these, and they were on the back part of the hearse. 1 on each of the 4 corners and 1 halfway down. And you can see the little mounting bracket and so forth. That's what I don't have that. Okay, it's pristine, but it doesn't have the mounting bracket. Okay, with the mounting bracket, they're $300-400 a piece. Yeah, just think if you had a set of 6 of them in the little case that they would be shipped in. Pretty cool. Be right back. There's your tire changing jacks, all tire changing tools, everything like that. Tire pumps back in the day, flat repair kits, tube repair kits. You had to repair your own inner tube on your tires. They were tubed before they went tubeless. There's your tire irons. Yeah, a couple of those. I got one of them guys in trouble that wore them shackles in that paddy wagon back there. That's pretty cool. And here's the a cool little all-weather compartment. And there you go. Let's see if the phone is a Kellogg. I have a Kellogg at home. Let's see. It is a Kellogg. Sure enough. Yep. Mine's a little older and just a little bit larger than this one. Yep. Be right back. Let's go check out the Cadillacs. That's only half of the king. Look at the caddies in here. Now, man, I only have black and white pictures of it. They're not very clear. Well, my father owned one of these. He even used to pull his boat, little fishing boat, up north to the Cadillac and the UP and everything, with his pink Cadillac with a black roof. I think his was a 58 or 59. But it had the big bullet noses on the bumpers on the front. I believe that they were tipped with black rubber. But yes, I rode in that car, when I was born. But shortly after that, my dad sold it and whatnot. But yep, and he bought it from Jim Gilmore back in the day, right when my dad's business started taking off and doing well. He wanted himself a Cadillac, and Jimmy got him a pink one. Yep. They were made famous back in the day by the king. I don't know if my dad knew that or not. That's the way it was. This old 58 here. Look at that classic dashboard. Let's go in here, see what's up. All right, Fleetwoods, all kinds of other ones here now. This was the vintage my father had, but it wasn't a convertible. It was white. Yep. Now, these were the newer ones. I forget what they called the body style on these, but he had gone into Mark V's before these came out, so never had a chance to be around those. Nice 62 here. Boy, that's a nice convertible. Now, he had his second Cadillac was tan in color, kind of similar to the Bill Bloss up here. I think that is what that is. Not certain. But anyways, and it was a rag top. And I rode in that a few times with the top down. He and my mom and I went over to Ann Arbor one time in it, down 94, with the top down. Yeah. Yeah. Now I remember these. I was in Germany just getting ready to go over. These were the Barretts. It was the Lincolns that had the Bill Blass edition. But this was a pretty spiffy little ride right here. And that's what Dad had, was the Barretts, white interior. All single color. It didn't have a moonroof in it. It had a solid roof, but it did have the Landau roof. There's the Opry windows. Yeah. Military engines from Cadillac. Powered the tanks. Other things. All right. We'll be right back. I know they used to have cars that they would drive and other things up that big ramp right there into the second floor, or the main barn floor of this barn. I don't know if they're still there, but we'll look in a minute. I'm going to go down here and look at a couple other things first. I shall be right back. This area here is the future home site, the Museum of the Horseless Carriage. They have hot air balloon ascensions back here and all kinds of things in the summertime. Here's Pierce Arrow. You're going to see some real beauties in here. Really something. We're going to call this the end of part 2. You pick this up in part 3. See you there. Thanks for watching.